Alrighty. Take a look at that. That's good. That's also good. Is that good? Yes. Beautiful. Let's close that. Close that. Close that and that and that. Beautiful. Okay, what's happening? Yeah, great. Alrighty. Let's see what we're doing today. So this is what we're going to be doing. Did I open up everything? Browser, back and front end. Yes, great. Let's do this. Let's do that. Beautiful. Okay. What did I want to do? Yeah, I'll just make sure that everything works. All right, great. Beautiful. Let's get this here. Is our stuff opened? Yes, great. Okay. Yeah, all right. So let's start. Let's start the stream today. Once the meetup is edited, re-slugify. I think that's what we did. So let's kind of do that. Let's start there. So all right, let's start with ChatGPT. Whenever a meetup is created, the title is slugified using. Wait a minute. Is this equalize slugify? So however, now when I'm editing, we need to ensure that that if user edits, it's the meetup title, that we also re-slugify that. Does awesome stuff. Hey there. What this stream is pretty much about Programmer Network. Actually, let me just pin that. I'm basically building this platform as a hobby in this stream. So this stream is all about that platform, basically. That's in a nutshell, really, what it is about. Numinex, my friend, good evening. Good day, actually. It's day here. Not much, man. Like, been out with my kid and my wife. We've been here by the beach. As you know, we live here by the beach in Ama in Copenhagen. And then we've been swimming a bit, me and my son. And yeah, we're back now. And I just decided to stream a little sooner today. Yeah, just so I can chill out with my wife tonight a bit more. Why does there so the documentation is dead here? So let's actually go to the source code of this. Yeah, start the stream with the robot. Yeah, pretty much. Wait, okay, let's just see here because their website seems to be down. Testing options now options. Let's just read the so override false. Like if I take an option, wait. Dune, good day, friend. Slug is not updated even after changing the title. Like, huh? Thank you very much, man. I'm happy that you found the stream. Yeah, we have a very nice community. We also have a Discord. I've been streaming now almost for a year casually, right? So if you like the stack that we're using and stuff, and I have a lot of experience, you want to learn or share experience, whatever, stick around whenever you can. I promise you will not be disappointed. Actually, this is what I opened. I opened this one October. Programmatically disabled. The plugin infuser provides a custom slug. Yeah. Yeah, I actually never got back to this guy. Okay, that's very shitty from my side. Okay, just give me a second. We need to read the docs really, because it's the website is down. So let's say main install examples. No, we don't actually care about it. Give me a second. Options, yeah. Pass additional options for slug generation as defined by slug life. Okay, let's take a look at this. Space separator, regex to lowercase, replace special characters. No, we don't care. Paranoid, whether the duplication check will use a paranoid query or not for determining the next unique slug. Yeah, actually, what is this? I think this might be. Yeah, give me a second, and then we have this many to many. No. But actually, no, I don't think that's this. Is this really the problem? So let just give me a second, because I do believe that we are already actually generating that, so that the update does in fact update the slug as well. So maybe I'm. Yeah, exactly. So we're actually good on that side. So sorry, my bad, right? So let's just fix this in the front end very quickly, right? So once we update the meetup, right? So let's go to meetups or something, right? Very nice. Thank you very much. Very nice. You're very nice, man. That's very nice of you, man. Very nice of you, bro. All right, so handle edit meetup. Yeah, so this one, right? So what we actually have to do is what am I returning from my? So am I actually returning the updated record? I should be, right? So pretty much what we need to do here really is we need to make sure that we navigate back in the front end to that new thing. Let me change the music. Give me 1 second. What should we? Last night we played Iron Maiden the whole night. Okay, let's do the System of a Down today, right? Let's do a System of a Down day today. All right. So over here, so this updated should return the new slug, right? Let's actually take a look at that, right? System of a Down, agree. Let's do it. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Update. Yeah, okay, so great, right? That's actually beautiful, right? So we actually get we do get back the new slug, right? So we should actually do this, right? And then, right, but the URL didn't update. So actually what we need to do, we can actually just replace this part of the URL, right, instead. Because if I refresh this, the problem now is that obviously that's going to break because, right? Exactly. Okay, so let's do that, right? So when this happens, what we can say, hey, if updated.slug is not equal to slug, meaning we only care really if the updated object that we got back from the database. So we're just checking, hey, if we have actually updated the title of this thing. Actually, so this guy was giving me the right, yeah, navigate meetups, updated slug, yeah, replace true. So basically, pretty much we're saying just update the URL, right? So if we refresh this and go back here and say, all right, let's update this to. So now if this worked, so we should see the URL being updated once I say, right, update. And as you can see, we do, right? So if I refresh, there we go. Beautiful. Yeah. And yeah, let's Yeah, I guess that's fine, right? Okay, beautiful. So this is kind of done, right? And then we're going to do it here as well. Remove members from meetup. Okay, great. Give me 1 second. It's great. Awesome. Okay, beautiful. Give me 1 second. I'm just checking some stuff out. Okay, so let's do the same. So let's just keep smacking that list, right? So this now technically works. The location, we'll need to figure what this is, and right, this is just the location of the meetup, right? It can be worldwide, whatever. So we'll need to figure out those details. Like this right location now is pretty useless. I'm not feeling the system of a down now. Give me a second. Not really feeling it now. For the code, it doesn't uplift me. Let me find something else. Give me 1 second. Sure. Let's try this. Let me grab some coffee. All right, beautiful. So, all right, so let's do the next thing, right? So let's go to update events. Do we have create events? Let's actually take a look at our Swagger just very quickly. Like, did we implement update event at all? Yeah, we did actually. So why am I not finding it? Create event. Let's. Yeah, here it is. Okay. All right, great, cool. So let's go to. Actually, sorry, my bad. We already have it. Beautiful. Okay, great, great, great. So only thing we need to do really now is implement the editing, right? Upcoming events. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's go. Yeah, it's right here, right? All right, it's here, right? Okay. And where is this? This is in the events. All right, so let's update this. So this fella, right? Is creating events. All right, cool. Okay, so we're gonna go to the meetup and we're gonna pick a similar logic like for editing the events. Let me actually find out where that is here, right? What is it complaining about here? Update what? Ah, I see. Okay. What? Super strange. All right, so let's find where's the title here. Yeah, exactly. So we want to grab something like this. We're going to go to the event, find the event title here. We haven't finished the layout and stuff, not even remotely. But yeah. Norman, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, let's just, okay, beautiful. Let's get back over here and let's just grab this whole style, right? That will be the title, and then this is the edit, right? Hope you're having a good time, Norman. Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to implement pretty much the same logic as for editing and then over time we'll figure out what the best place to put those things is, right? Because I don't know where we should invoke those forms, because I want to localize this editing, which, yeah, we'll see, right? We'll see. Give me a second here. Yeah, so we'll want to do the same thing basically, which means I guess we'll need to import the form inside of this event, right? So if I actually get over here, pretty much we'll have something like this, right? We'll probably want to event description. So we'll do something like this for now. Let's just slam it in here. Let's say event form here. Let's just temporarily do this until we actually hook it all up. Yeah. Right, standard crap. And then here we're gonna say, right, set is editing event, right, true. Here we're gonna say, thank you everybody for the follows and stuff, very much appreciated. Set editing false, yeah, exactly. So now this is probably gonna fail, but at this point, if I go to the actual event, exactly, so it is kind of triggering it, so that's good. And obviously here we want to say data, I guess, is this event form actually taking the data? It should be. So I'm going to say here, data is, I guess, what's the state that I have access to? So I do have data.event, right? Yeah, let's just print this somewhere. Let's print it maybe here just to make sure it's the right thing. Actually, we don't need to, we destructured it there. So let's just say event. Okay, beautiful. All right, great. Let's see. Okay, that's great. Almost there. Cannot read property. So yeah, so we're missing event type. I see. Sure. Let's go back to our schemas here in the API and meetup body schema, meetup response schema. We need meetup event, right? Meetup event body. Is this the event, right? It is, yeah. Or is this the meetup? So this is the event, yeah. So we're missing here. We'll be turning down an internal promotion from senior to lead tomorrow's. Well, it depends what it is that you want to do, right? It depends where you're passionate, right? It depends, right? It depends what it is that inspires you, right? Do you like to enable others to be more productive? Do you like to uplift your team, or do you just want to sit in a corner and code, right? But it's a good thing. Maybe you already know, right? Tiger, good day, my friend. So that depends on you, right? To decide. It's there's no right. There's no correct answer. You have to decide that for you, what it is that you want to do in your career, right? Location type. Okay, so we're missing location type as well. All right, great. So now we have them all. Well, keep in mind, I mean, depending on the size, right? I'm a lead in the company where I work. It doesn't mean that I don't code, right? Quite contrary, I'm mostly put to code the most important stuff, right? So it really, if you haven't declined it already, right? I would say, think about it, because being a lead doesn't mean in most circumstances that you don't code, right? So be careful about declining it before you actually understand what the role would be, right? If they told you, look, man, you're no longer gonna code, right? I don't use Next.js, no. Okay, so this is update event, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's great. Interesting. The thing is, I mean, if you ask me if you have that choice broad, right? No. I think it's a great discussion. If you have the opportunity, right? What I would do if I was you, I would ask them if they can allow you to try it. Say, give me 2 or 3 months. If you have that possibility, right? So if you have a possibility to like try it and see if it's something that you want to do, right? Then certainly, because you never know, right? I enjoy being a lead, right? I enjoy it because I can directly help people even more, right? The way that I'm managing errors, I've built my kind of all. So everything in this project has been built by me, right? Authentication, error handling, every system has been built by me, right? And I have my own. I'm using AJV. I'm using Fastify, and I'm using Fastify is using another JSON schema validator. And then I've built all the tools around the JSON schema validator, right? So I have a centralized error handling in a way, or to say isomorphic error handling, right? So I'm using the same error handling on both API and the front end, and I think I've actually open sourced some of that logic, right? So you can kind of see some of the isomorphic stuff here, right? Some of the validators are there. I actually wrote this. I mean, everything is built in the stream, right? And then, of course, I built the custom hooks in my UI. So when I'm, filling up some form, right, I get all of the errors and stuff, right, in the way that I want them, right, and stuff like that. So there's no third-party libraries or any crap like that, right? Let me grab some coffee here. But what do you mean show them? You mean how to propagate the errors from your API to your front end so they're shown, like, you know, username already taken. What type of errors? Which errors are you talking about exactly? Then I can maybe help you. And let me just actually do one thing here as well. I mean, the styles. I mean, the styles are that's a relative thing, right? I built the whole UI library for this project, right? I'm not using, right? Ah, I see, I see. I mean, I don't know. I don't actually remember how I built it, right? But it's been a while ago, but I can maybe show it to you, right? So this is my input component, right? So again, I'm not using any third-party component library. All of the stuff is built here in the stream. And I have this input error, right? That's shown beneath the input, right? So I have the input itself, and then I have this little utility thing called input error, and it looks like this. And the reason why it looks like this is because sometimes an input can have multiple errors. Then I show the errors beneath each error beneath each other. Otherwise, if it's a single error, then I just show that error, right? That's how it is. Nothing. And then I have my own, of course, my own hook that I wrote for my forms, right? And this hook knows how to handle my server-side errors, how to handle my local errors, right? So it can utilize the errors that happen on the server because my server also throws those types of errors, right? All right. Just let me do. Okay. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. All right. That's better. Yeah. Cool. All right. Great. Okay. Cool. So let's go back to the front and let's go to meetups. No, event form, right? Right. Let's extend this with an extra prop. Thank you everybody for follows and all of that stuff. Appreciate it. Okay, great. Are we getting the stuff? Yes. Attendees, yeah. That's a bit awkward. We shouldn't be sending that, but either way, right? Okay. Cool. And yeah, let's just implement the actual service for that, right? Is this the actual? I mean, that would be great. Attend events. Yeah, that's correct. Response false. Okay, that kind of sucks, right? But doesn't matter. It's okay. We don't really need to respond. It's just maybe it would be better. But let's see. So if we successfully do this, right, what we basically want to do, yeah, we actually should respond because of the actual slug that gets, because of the title that gets so actually here we're gonna have to say so we're gonna do actually 201, right? Yeah, we're gonna do 201 there. Let's try something like that, right? And then let's test it out. Is this an actual event? Yeah. All right, 400, it's okay. Meetup ID must be integer. Okay, what are we actually passing? So we're passing, what did we call? Meetups, then the slug events, blah, blah. So this is what we actually called, right? So we called it with a slug and then slug again. I see, right? Update event, let's go to the front. So meetup slug, yeah, okay. So I guess here we have to say meetup ID, right? And then event ID, I suppose, right? Yep, exactly. All right, let's try that again. All right, so now we got actually a success, I guess. Yeah, so we did. So if I refresh, this is going to fail because, well, it actually should be failing. Why? Give me a second. And I don't think we cached it or anything, did we? All right, let's try that again. This is the payload. Sorry, let's see what the response actually is. Title slug. So actually, we do get the right thing back, right? Where's our chat GPT? But just don't forget like ACL and permissions and stuff, right? So as we're rapidly building this, right? So let's just automate this. So yeah, if there's no meetup, blah, blah, if the user is the organizer, exactly. Yeah, that's fair, right? It's not perfect, but it's good enough, I think. That should be good. Where are we? Over here, right? Yeah. It's just, let's actually take a look at our database. Let's take a look at the records. So let's go to meetup event. What's happening here? I just remove all these events because it's getting a bit confusing. If I refresh, it should be gone, right? Exactly. Leo, my friend, how are you doing? Okay, so they really have no events, right? So let's create one. Create our first event. Start date. today. Select meetup, virtual location, whatever, spots 22. All right, so now we have all right, so what happens if we try to edit this now? Yeah, early one today, exactly. Okay, that's actually good. All right, so I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do pretty much what I did here, right? So when we actually update the event, where was that? Yeah, over here, right? So we're gonna say updated, right? Then we're gonna say here if what makes my project special? Probably nothing. I don't think anything makes it special. Honestly, yeah. What did I want to do? Yeah, meetups. Meetup event. I think it's this one, event slug, right? Okay. So I guess over here we say what is it? Params maybe dot. Jesus Christ, man. Ah, actually, we do have the meetup slug, event slug, right? Yep. And then obviously, what would be the URL here? This would be, wait, navigate. Yeah, exactly. Something like this, something like that, right? So let's try changing the title now. So we change the title to "We are really nothing special." And then we save that. And then, yeah. So we did actually update it, but I see. Okay, and then we have to obviously update the actual current state as well, which is this, right? So we also have to say, hey, wait a minute. So exactly. That's what we forgot doing, right? Update. And then there we go. Okay, great. That's good. That's good, but nothing special. Update. Oh, okay, so too long, okay. All right, beautiful. Okay, so that's great, works. Cool, okay. So what did we do? Where's our... So we did this, edit event, we did this, find better graphics, remove members from a meetup, remove members from an event, cover image for a meetup event. Shit, give me 1 second. Did we... actually have it like a literal true? Yeah, so over here we need to ensure that... Thank you everybody for your follows and stuff. Thank you very much. So is organizer, right? So we're gonna have organizer concept here as well, just as we have it in the meetup, right? How did I determine here if someone is an organizer, right? So we're gonna use the same logic pretty much. Set is organizer, right? Yeah. I do know, yes, I do know, yes. We do that daily, 500 times in the stream, yes. I'm also on LinkedIn that you started mentoring again. I said, yeah, I mean, I didn't start mentoring, but I will start mentoring. I mean, I will probably actually be streaming less and less, to be very honest with you, right? because I do want to build this platform and I want to do something that's also profitable, right? Because Twitch is useless, right? I mean, most people, again, even if they watch me every single night, they don't subscribe and stuff like that, right? So probably I'm going to start leaning more as I did before, you know, just mentoring for real, but that investing that money into the project, right? So I did start, and I'm gonna be kind of, but I just signed up. I got accepted as a mentor in this platform. I don't think this platform is gonna do much to me, right? But for sure, I'm gonna focus less on Twitch most likely very soon, right? Because it's kind of useless, right? It's useless and it's short term. People come, they watch, they get what they want, and then they leave, right? So it's kind of most likely I'll focus my efforts more elsewhere. Most likely, like I didn't make a plan yet, but yeah. Streaming on Twitch honestly is the most useless thing. I mean, apart from having fun with you guys, that's amazing. I do have fun, but from any other perspective, as I said before, it's completely useless, right? It's completely useless. Okay, event form. So that's good. I think. What is this? Attend event. Yeah, that's also good. So for sure, I'll focus my efforts more on actually getting paid. Again, outside my work. Yeah. No. I don't think I'll ever gonna do that. I don't think I'll ever gonna do that, Leo. Right? I might start some sort of Patreon or something, right? And then those people who actually want me to stream, they can pay $10, $15 a month. And then because the thing at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, it's for me, I think this stream is gonna boil down to two things. I'm gonna create a Patreon or something, and if I see that there isn't like 20, 30 people who are willing to pay $10 a month to watch me, then that means that my stream is useless, right? And then I'm not gonna stream anymore, right? Probably something like that. So at the end of the day, right? If it's not about really the money per se. It's rather about usefulness. If I can't after a year find 30, 40 people that's gonna pay $10 a month, that means that I'm either doing something wrong or just streaming on Twitch is just useless, right? I'm not gonna get them to sign up. I'm gonna share it on Discord and stuff and see if nobody's in. I mean, I've been streaming for a year now. If I can't find after a year 30 people who find the stream valuable, then I shouldn't stream, right? Probably. So we'll see. I haven't made up my mind yet, but it's really that simple, right? Because at the end of the day, right, I could be investing this time as well into actually building the platform, not answering the questions and stuff like that, right? And that's just how it is. Okay, we'll see. I haven't decided yet, but I probably will decide it very soon. I mean, the thing is, right, I have a full-time job and right, it's I don't necessarily need more money, right? But I've been streaming now casually for a year, right? And it's from the monetization perspective, this stream is absolutely useless, 100%, right? I mean, I can make more in an hour doing consulting than I make in a whole year here, right? So it's absolutely useless, right? So we'll see, right? I haven't made up my mind or I haven't thought about it, but I can see, I mean, based on my feelings now that it's gonna have to change, right? Something's gonna have to change, right? Not because I want necessarily something, it's rather about constant progression. You need to feel that you're progressing in some way. And I don't progress. I don't feel, I mean, I'm always around 60, 70 people at peak, right? I never, right? So it's just like at one point, I'm going to start asking questions. Well, I've been streaming now for a year. Well, there isn't a massive change. Well, in half a year, I'm going to, right? So in half a year, it's going to be also 50 people. And I'm going to say, well, why the hell am I streaming, right? Because like what is the value, right? So it's going to be pretty much like that. And this platform, let's face it, is full of kids and it's full of young individuals who can't actually pay even if they want it, right? what is the advantage of being, well, the advantage is that I'm going to stream, right? That's pretty much the advantage, right? Because the advantage is I'm going to stop streaming and then there's no advantage for you at all, right? That's pretty much it, right? Well, those platforms are basically built, right? I think something like that, Tiger. I think I'm probably gonna focus more on that, right? Because I also agree with what Dive said, right? Like what is the benefit of subscribing, right? I don't care, man, how Twitch community works, right? I couldn't care less about that. I genuinely don't care 1%, right? I only think about me streaming and what's that I'm getting in. I don't care about Twitch community or I don't care about other developers, right? That's beside the point, right? I'm just saying from my perspective of doing this casually sometimes, right? I'm saying what I'm gonna do. What others do, I don't really care, right? I'm not a streamer, right? I don't do this full time, right? And if you don't see the benefit of subscribing, right, then you don't see the value, right? Yeah, maybe, right? But just to answer your question, you're saying what is the value of me subscribing to you, right? Well, if you don't see the value, then why are you here, right? I mean, why are you watching me, right? It's a genuine question, right? If you're here just to kill time and you don't care if you're watching me or someone else, then why are you wasting your time? I mean, right? Because like you don't need to be forced to do something, right? Yeah, but that's exactly the point, right? Those platforms operate on an assumption that if you find value in something, you're gonna chip in, right? That's the whole point, right? So that's why people chip in. So when you have 1,000 people paying $5 a month, then you get what I mean, right? So of course you can do that, and I agree with you. I mean, I don't disagree, right? But anyway, like it's a strange subject, right? So fuck it. Let's just move on. Let's just code, right? If you bring other type, yeah, I'm not sure what you mean exactly. All right, that's what it is. That's how it is, right? This is a shit. What did we do here? Huh? Wait, so we go to the meetup. Ah, okay, yeah. We haven't. Sorry, I missed. Look, nothing to do with you guys. I mean, I don't disagree with any of you, right? It is perfectly fine. I'm just basically sharing my own perception of things. I don't care how it is and what people do, right? No, I'm never gonna do that. No, I'm not gonna guide you for $5, right? You have to understand, man, that my hourly rate when I'm consulting is like 200 euros, right? I'm not gonna guide you for 2 hours so you can subscribe for $5, right? So the value that you think you're giving to someone is ridiculous, right? If you think that your $5 is worth me spending an hour guiding you to start a project, it's not, right? So that's exactly what I'm talking about here. This may be for some students or somebody, right, spending their time on that. Sure, but right, I think you're overestimating the value of you subscribing, right? You get what I mean, right? So you're overestimating. This is there's a fundamental. I think the problem with Twitch and problem with this category of streaming, right? I think exactly. I think this platform is for gamers, right? So in a way, I get it that if you subscribe to a gamer, I agree that $5 is enough because gamers don't really provide any concrete value other than I want to kill some time, right? What I'm doing here is different, right? I'm providing different value, right? So I'm not gonna be dancing on a camera because somebody is gonna give me $5, which is actually $2, right? So I agree with you 100%. I think you're absolutely correct. You're 100% correct. I actually agree with you 100%. 100%. Chica, my friend, good day. How are you? 100%. I agree with you, man. That's a very good point. Very good point. What will programmer network? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see that day coming. I don't think we're gonna see that day coming. Get meetup. Actually, great, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we're gonna actually have the same thing here, right? No, very good point. I think some very good points. And don't take me wrong. Again, for me, look. I just want to be clear that we understand each other, right? It's not about necessarily a sub or not, right? For me, it's an evidence, right? I need the proof that what I'm doing has value. It's rather the motivational type of thing than the money thing, right? So, for instance, if I have someone watch for half a year or a year, and I see that for them what I'm doing isn't worth $5 a month or 10 or 20. So it's not about, I mean, that money that you would give, it means nothing to me anyway. I'm going to spend that in one evening here in Copenhagen, right? It's rather about every individual, whatever you're doing, right? You need to see that the result of your work, you need some sort of a stamp that says, okay, what I'm doing is valuable, right? So it's rather, you get what I mean. So it's not so much about, oh, money or whatever. I mean, I would need to have a lot of you guys subscribe to see a concrete and huge value of that, right? So it's rather, just sort of a recognition, if I may, right? Okay, great. Okay, so this actually didn't work. Oh, actually, event.meetup.organizer IDs. No, this should be user ID here, right? But it's a very interesting discussion. I mean, it's good to hear. It's good to hear some opinions, right? In that sense. Yeah, user ID. Exactly, right. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing, I'm not a gamer. I don't belong in a way to this platform. I agree. So for me, I don't. In my life, I don't. I don't. Right. I don't. Well, I'm not thinking. No, I don't think that I ever discussed moving to anywhere else. Right. I don't think. I discussed that at all, right? It's rather, it's not about money, it's about value, right? It's rather about proving value, right? Because my number of followers keeps increasing, right? Yeah, exactly, right. So right, look, oh my, Rebecca is here. Good day, Rebecca. Me and Rebecca and we played New World together. Look, just to put it this way, I'm not saying I want to move to Patreon, right? I want to say I want to give some social experiment to something and see, okay, is there actually an audience for this type of stuff, right? So right, so I think you're misunderstanding. I think the basic premise here is like to prove, okay, if I move to Patreon and I've been streaming for a year, are there 30 people? Did I collect 30 people in a whole year who want to pay $10 a month to watch my streams? If the answer is no, then clearly streaming is useless. Not from the money perspective. It's like from the value perspective. Why would I be spending, let's say, 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week streaming if nobody sees the value in it? Like if you would rather pay $10 for Netflix than watching me, that means that the value that I provide is meaningless, which means I shouldn't be streaming. It's not literally, it's like, why would I be doing something that nobody really acknowledges as useful? So it's not about really fun or money. It's rather just an experiment. So I see, hey, is my stream actually helping anybody, right? So that's the point, right? Exactly, Leo. That's another thing, right? So it's like always the same crap, right? But either way, you get what I mean. So I just want to do an experiment eventually and say, okay, well, does this actually make any sense, right? Because, for example, let me give you one example, right? When I was working at Thinkful, right? When I was working at Thinkful at this bootcamp, I worked here part time for 5.5 years, right? I worked part time like relative to my job. Let me give you an example, right? Like if I go back and work at Thinkful, right? Let me just give you an example. If I go back to Thinkful and I mentor there, right? I will make around $1,500 as an extra money netto just for mentoring. So if I was about money, clearly I would just go there and do that, right? But there I can see that there's value because the value is tangible. You can see that if I go back there and have one-on-ones, meaning people paying me to mentor them one-on-one, you can see that the value is there, right? And I wanted to do similar with Twitch. So instead of, making this a second job as I had it before, I just wanted to have fun and also kind of see some value for the project itself, a programmer network, right? So it's always about, if you want to stay motivated, you have to see that your effort gradually pays off in some way. Either I'm getting shit tons of more people to sign up on the product. Yeah, exactly. And keep in mind, of course, I'm not streaming like 7 hours a day. I'm streaming, 10 hours a week, right? Uh, yeah. So anyway, I mean, look, that's just how it is, right? And that's the whole point. Maybe genuinely my stream is useless, right? Maybe it is, and that's kind of how it is. I mean, that's perfectly fine, right? And if that's the case, then I have to ask the question, well, wait a minute, right? Why am I then streaming, right? So it's not about, I don't give a crap about 500, whatever. It's at the end of the day, it's all about, is it actually useful, right? Because if it's not good for me or anyone else actually to be stream. Why would I be, right? Why would I actually be streaming then, right? Okay, good. I think we need to do the same thing. No, but it is a hobby. Again, please don't misunderstand it. It's not necessarily the money. When I mention money, I mostly mention it in the context of validation, right? You get what I mean. So when I mention money, right? Money equals validation. It doesn't equal my personal profit or anything like that, right? I mean, the amount of subs I have, which is like 30 right now or so, isn't even sufficient to pay monthly for, hosting and stuff of this project. That's not the point. The point is validation, right? You get what I mean? So if I can't make X amount of people to subscribe who are watching for a year, that means to me personally that the stream is not useful, right? So that's the point. It's not the point about right. That's but that's how it is, man. Of course, exactly, Leo. Exactly, right. You wanna know even at your company every year that you're providing value, right? And exactly, 100%, 100%, 100%. It's not even about money sometimes. It's just about knowing that you're doing well, right? 100%, man. But in simple words, it's in simple words, it's very simple, right? It's not about, yeah. I mean, it's not approval by others, right? It's not in that's right. Exactly. Pretty much, Leo. Yes. Okay, so let's just go event form. Hmm. that's how it is. That's how it is. What can we do, right? That's what it is. And you know, we all calibrate. We all look for ways, right? You have to always font bold. And by no means, there's one fundamental thing that I have to be very clear. I have no intention of stopping this project. The only thing that I'm thinking, is my time clicking this button worth, right? Or should I just do this project and fully invest myself into it without wasting time here or answering questions, blah, blah, blah. So that is my fundamental question. So it's not so much about, right? It's Tailwind CSS. Yes, correct. There you go. Update events. Do we really even need that is the question, right? I guess we do. Actually, yeah, we probably do need it, right? Update events. Okay. T4 2. That's how it is. That's how it is. And that's normal, right? Well, for me, it's not external factors. Look, Tiger. Let me put it this way, right? Let me put it this way, right? So I think I agree, Tiger, with you. I think we're maybe misunderstanding each other. I don't give a crap what any of you think, right? Just to be clear here. I've never in my life gave a crap what other people thought, right? So that's beside the point. Think about it this way. If you have a classroom and you show up in a classroom as a teacher, and then after a year, you're not seeing that people are interested into hearing your classes, right? Like they don't find them useful. Then you would probably stop showing up. So it's not about, I don't care what any of you think. That's beside the point. It's rather more about, it's you get what I mean, right? If you can take any example. If you know, whatever, right? So it's not really about that, right? It's and also, like someone said, it's just the wrong platform for this, right? This is not a platform. So I agree. I mean, it's just the wrong platform for doing stuff like this, right? I mean, when you look at this Vim guy, right, and stuff like that. I mean, when you look at streaming in general, right, it's pretty poor, right? When you look at those streamers who have million followers, right, and stuff, right? It's yeah. What did I want to do? Meetup. All right, beautiful. But either way, I mean, again, I don't think that I'll ever stop streaming, right, fully. But I will have to recalibrate the right. It's gonna be rather different, right? So I'm gonna probably maybe stream with a more fixed schedule, stream less, and then exactly try to figure out what it is that I want to get out of it, right? Streaming is like a self-employed job to me. Yeah, true. Very much true. Exactly. Think about it that way. I agree. And then if you try some job that just doesn't seem to progress in any reasonable way, then you would probably think, well, should I actually do this job? Maybe this is just a stupid type of thing, right? So that's the point. Because, for example, the irony is, you know, I have like 20, 30 followers every stream, right? So, I mean, and I'm not streaming much, right? I mean, probably what other people spend in streaming on daily basis, maybe I stream that many hours weekly, right? So I maybe, what do I stream? Maybe 10 hours a week, right? So I mean, the numbers, when I look at those dashboards, the numbers are increasing, right? But rather the follower count isn't. We're just discussing Styblis. We're just discussing something irrelevant, just how the Twitch works and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Okay. Fuck it. Actually, this is no longer the case. Let's remove this. Ensure. Create an additional table called meetup event photos. Users should be notified. Yeah, I mean, you're a great guy. Thank you very much, man. I like what you do. I just said because of music and personality. Yeah, true. No, but that's exactly the thing. 100%. Very good point, right? And I'm aware of that, right? And if that's what I wanted to do, so I think we're all on the same page. That's literally exactly. I think we are all agreeing 100%. I stream for some specific reasons, right? And I have no intention of moving away from those reasons, right? So the question, so I think we agree 100%, and that's the whole point. I stream because of something, and I wonder, is that something worth streaming for, right? So I know, I mean, for me, it's not a problem to navigate in certain areas and say, well, this is what I'm doing now. But that's not what I want to do. I actually went away from that. That's why I stopped mentoring at Thinkful and stuff like that, right? So right. So we 100% understand each other. The point is, like, is there value in what I'm doing on Twitch, in what I want to do, in what I actually want to do on Twitch? It's not the point is like, well, if you move to a specific niche, right, then you can, that's not the point. I can do that in 5 minutes, right? I can go to any boot camp aside from my work and teach and make a lot of money. But that's not the point. The point is that is what I'm doing now, the way that I want to do, the way what I want to do, is that worth? And I don't think it is, because if it was, I feel that I would see more success with it. So that's the point, right? Of course, that if I wanted to say, well, this stream now is like I stream 10 hours a week and it's just beginner, like, sure, right? But I don't want to do that, right? That's not that's not the path I want to take, right? Because I don't really need to do this, right? This has to be, as I always said, the most important thing is that this is fun, right? Remove a member from Meetup, remove members from Meetup, cover image for, okay. Exactly, Tiger, 100%, 100%. But again, it's not about ROI even, right? Again, I have to find some metric to use, right? So like, unfortunately, the metric in this context is subscribers or viewer count. So this is kind of this is what you use to kind of, when you think about ROI in context of Twitch. So when I mention subscribers, I don't mean necessarily in the quantity of money. It's rather in the quantity of value, right? That's how I try to quantify the value of it, right? So if I can't get 50, 100 subscribers after a year, then you can kind of see that there's no value that I'm providing. I'm not blaming the others. I'm not saying, oh, those stupid people, they don't want to sub. Absolutely not. Quite contrary. Clearly, like, my stream then doesn't provide sufficient value to enough of people that the time invested in it can be, justified. So that's the point, right? Cedric, my friend, good day. I mean, followers are growing all the time, right? I mean, I get 20, 30, 40 followers every stream, right? I mean, look at this, right? If you look, for example, at Asmongold and all of those guys who live, they're basically streaming 20 hours a day. That guy has like 1 million followers, right? And he has like on average, 10, 20,000 people watching. So if you look at all of those streamers, you can see that the numbers on Twitch are useless, right? Like if I go to Twitch now, right? Let's go. So if I go to Twitch now and I go and I watched some of those people, right? So look at this guy, Diablo 3 guy, right? This guy has 326,000 and he has 3,000 watching, right? So, like, let's see who else. Those are just recommended. This guy, right? What is art? Is this really art or what is that? Dependency injection is awesome. But anyway, look, I don't know how we even started talking about this, but either way, right? I'm not going anywhere for sure. No. Yeah, let's actually go to shit. Let's go to programming category. How do I do that? How can I? Oh, I go here, right? Yeah. Yeah, so you can kind of see it's pretty poor, right? I mean, so actually I'm not even doing maybe that bad, right? Let's see this guy. This guy, what is this guy doing? Let's see how many followers he has. 13,000 followers, 143. So actually I'm not even doing bad, right? I mean, that's pretty sad, man. And this guy is Twitch staff. What? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? This guy is even a Twitch staff, right? So right, so it just seems to be that this category in which we are in is just very poor, right? So it seems that I'm actually doing better than most people here, right? Which actually is even more sad. 10 people. Yeah, actually I'm not doing bad at all, it seems. 6 viewers, right? Yeah, here I am. I don't know why I'm here though, right? How am I? So why am I actually here is the question, right? Well, that guy, the Vim guy, right? The Vim guy is popular because he has a YouTube channel and he's had a YouTube channel for many years, right? Filter is recommended for you. I don't know how to. Wait. So wait, can you guys show me how I use it? So what? I go here, and what do I do? Like filter. You say what should I do? English. Oh my god, I'm on the first page. Are you fucking kidding? Wait, are you kidding me, guys? Wait, am I... Wait, in the whole category, I'm on the top row. Oh my god, dude, that's super sad, man. I mean, if I'm the savior of Twitch, rest in peace, Twitch. Oh my god, dude, that's pretty sad. Top tier streamer. Like, is anyone even watching this category? Where can I see how many people? Oh my god, dude, 2,500 viewers. The whole category has 2,500 viewers. Dude, like, we're killing it, man. We're literally killing it. Oh my god, man, what the fuck? All right, that's pretty sad, but that's what it is. Top streamer. Dude. Yeah, I don't know, should I be proud or should I be sad, but... Time to switch to YouTube. I mean, if, like... Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, look, I don't know what to say. I mean, me being in the top category, dude, and I stream like 10 hours a week. Imagine if I streamed like those guys, like 7 hours a day. I would be literally like top there, right? No, seriously, imagine if I was actually streaming like those guys. I mean, probably if we go there, those guys are probably streaming like 7 hours a day or something like that, right? Like, let me see. Like, I don't know. Let's look at this guy, right? He's building some video game. He's streaming already for 4 hours. What about his videos? How do I access his videos? I don't know how to use Twitch. Can I like... Okay, well, okay. To his defense, 7 days ago, 14 days ago, 21 days ago. So he streams basically, what, once a week? I was actually thinking to just do some nudes, right? Do like OnlyFans type of content. You know, you guys can kind of see me, you know, streaming, you know, from a hot tub and stuff. Let's check this chick out, right? Let's check this chick out. All right. She has the pretty headphones and stuff, so that gets at least 50% followers. 11,000 25 hours. What the fuck is this, man? 25,000. Oh, sorry, 25. Is she really streaming 25 hours? I, I, a e-girl with tits can stream 1 hour a day and get 10x viewers. Maybe guys, maybe that's what we should do. Maybe actually, is there like fake tits on Amazon? Wait. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I think we got it. Should I go? Should I, or like, is this a yes? I think I'm gonna order. My wife is not gonna be very happy though, but are we all agreeing here? Are we good? Can I say Twitch? Okay, fuck, I can get banned? Okay, Jesus Christ, okay. Alright, guys, shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up, you guys are annoying. Just do it. Alright, I don't even know what the hell am I doing anymore. Snazzy, I do apologize, man. Those guys triggered me, okay? Average Twitch stream. Alright, shut the fuck up, guys. Let's keep on working. We have been fucking assholes. Find better graphics. Okay. Okay, let's recalibrate, guys. Let's recalibrate. I'm gonna do the order later. Okay, great. So I don't think that I did anything that should get me banned, honestly, but you never know, right? You never know. Well, my wife does follow me. My wife does have access to my YouTube. She apparently likes all of my videos. I think my wife is one of the 3 people who like my YouTube videos. Like, it's quite hilarious. And yeah. Whenever I see like 3 likes on my YouTube videos, I know that my wife and I are 2 of them. And I never know who the 3rd person is. It's super strange. I'm always wondering, okay, my wife liked my video. I did naturally. You liked the video about... Actually, I'm just kidding. I think they're pretty solidly... Yeah, you can see some fucking lunatic here disliked my video. Like... Look at this kind of lunatic, right? Some just crazy guy clicked dislike, right? Like who does that, man? How shitty person you have to be? Like, dude, just like move on, man, right? Move on, dude. Just move on. Is that hard, man? Like, why did you click this, right? Like, you really have to fucking be a horrible person, right? Yeah, people do watch it, right? For like first 2 minutes. Let's see analytics. So yeah, so this video that I uploaded this morning, right, has been watched for 1.2 hours. And it brought me 1 subscriber, right? 1 hour, right? So some poor soul has watched this, right? Let's take a look at the other ones. How do I use YouTube? How do I use this content, right? Yeah, let's take a look at this crap, right? Will AI replace? Analytics. 20 hours watch time. So people watch this for 20 hours, right? So that's not bad, right? So it's not that terrible, right? Yeah, that's not too terrible, right? 20 hours, right? All right, shut the fuck up. Give me 1 second. Let me just put some music on again, something nicer. Wait, and then let's write some code, man. Like seriously. All right, let's recalibrate. People seem to have more entertainment than when I'm talking crap than when I'm writing code, actually. I don't know. I just feel like generally, I think that generationally, I'm just like a boomer. I think I'm more of a boomer. I think that's the word today, boomer, right? Um, I'm not a fan of those shorts, right? A programmer shit talking is very good. Okay, you're from okay, I got it. Boomer, yeah. Senior zoomer. I don't know what a zoomer is. I hear that. Fill work. Okay, definitely entertaining. Okay. Well, okay. Shut the fuck up. Master Shifu. Are you still installing operating system, Chica? Boomer and zoomer. I see. Create additional table. Chica, I hope that one day, maybe in 2 years, when I stop streaming, Chica is gonna install his operating system finally. Oh, actually, guys, right before I install the operating system, I need to compile the kernel 4 times. Everybody knows. Remove members from me. Okay, remove members, find better graphs. Okay, let's see which one of those I want to do now. So let's kind of recalibrate here a bit. So we have the meetups, right? So we go to meetups, right? We can create it and stuff. Yeah, Linus is he's a character for sure. He's a character for sure. I agree. Ooh, okay. So how come shit? How come we lost the? Ooh, okay. Give me one moment here. Ah, shit, man. Come on. It's not editing. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing, programmer OS in the future. I think Chica would be way more competent than me. I think maybe not to build an operating system, right? Description. Okay. Okay. Let me just do one thing. Like, what the hell happened there? That's super awkward. All right. This is so arbitrary, right? But I don't know what should be the mins. Didn't I update the message as well? Didn't I? Ah, thank you very much. You're absolutely right. Those should be constants anyway, right? Is this open source? Unfortunately not. But maybe one day that ends up being the most reasonable thing to do. Exactly. The thing is, I mean, we will, in fact, it's just that I don't have the time, right? But I will open source pretty much everything as modules, right? The components, the UI, and all of that stuff, right? When it comes to the product, well, maybe one day, who knows, right? I think right now that just wouldn't make sense, right? What are we actually? How come we? Wait a minute. I don't think that's gonna. Yeah, that's completely fucked up. Yeah. Do you run unit tests for this app? In certain areas, I do write unit tests. Yes. In certain other areas, I don't. Right. I find the unit tests mostly in the front end to be useless, especially testing JSX and component logic. But I think I would always suggest writing unit tests for any business logic. I think there's never there are few fundamental truths about programming, right? Look, let me just in very short terms tell you. I've been writing code for many years, right? For a decade and a half, and let me tell you one thing that might not be popular among some, but look, there are two things which are the absolute truths. There's never a reason why you shouldn't test your business logic, unit test, or any other test. And there's never a reason to not write documentation. Those are two fundamental truths. Like you can be early stage, late stage, unicorn, two-man startup, whatever. There's never ever a reason why you shouldn't unit test your utility functions and stuff like that, right? Now, there are certain areas of testing which are questionable, of course. Like, should I test if when I click on a component, button invokes an event? That's open for discussion. I don't, because I find that useless, right? But when it comes to documentation and testing your business logic, your business logic is mostly where your issues occur. When I say business logic, I mean when you, right? The thing is, you don't need the biggest problem when it comes to testing and documentation and stuff is that developers already upfront create some twisted image of what they actually have to do. BDD, TDD, whatever, it really isn't some majestic taboo thing, right? The only thing you have to do is you have to ensure, for example, let me show you. A very good example of unit testing is one of our libraries here that we wrote for programmer network. So for example, let's find it, right? So if you take a look at, let's say, this programmer network AJV thing, right? If you take a look at this, this is a great example of testing. This is a great example where tests are incredibly important, right? And as you can see, this is overly tested, right? So everything is tested. The custom AJV keywords, utilities are tested and stuff. So for example, if we go into string utils and if you take a look at the tests, this is the sort of stuff you always want to test. It's the same reason why Lodash is fully tested, Lambda.js, or any other functions, utility functions that you base your logic on. So this is the great example, right, of... I mean, testing is equally important anywhere. It doesn't really matter, right? You have a function and you want to make sure that that function in all possible scenarios does exactly what you want, right? So that's really, there isn't really much to say about unit testing in general, right? You have a unit and you ensure that you catch regressions, that you catch, because the testing is not important necessarily just because something is less prone to errors. It's important that you stop any regressions from happening because the code is a dynamic thing, right? The code changes constantly and forever. It's never something you write and it's done, right? So writing tests, writing documentation is ultimately and forever and absolutely the truth, right? Now you're going to get some rejections for that, mostly by people who are lazy or who try to justify something, right? I don't see how writing tests for your code, especially again, business logic, is not useful. It's ridiculous. It's just fucking stupid to even think that. It's ridiculous, right? Like let's not deceive ourselves. Let's not lie to ourselves, right? It's just fucking stupid, man. So should you write tests? Of course. The hardest thing for developers or for people in general who don't write tests is to get used to that, because tests during development, BDD, whatever, behavior during development and stuff. Number one, you don't have to take it to heart. You don't have to take it literally. Yes, sometimes you will write the tests after you write your implementation, whatever, who cares? Nobody says it has to be perfect. Just write your tests when you can. The biggest issue developers do, is they set themselves up for failure because you start with an assumption is like, well, since I haven't been writing tests at all, well, let me just not write them, right? That's just fucking bullshit, man. Like, so don't listen to people who try to justify not writing tests. Of course it does. Of course it adds business value. It adds the business value that when you onboard people, they can go to a certain place, read the tests, not read the code. And then if you, for example, look, if you again go to this link that I gave you a minute ago, right? So if we go to my GitHub, right? Well, TCK, to some degree, yes. That's why I say you shouldn't be writing useless things, right? What did I want to show, right? So for instance, right, if we go, let's say or API or to this AJV thing, right? So if we go to some tests, right, let's take a look at this. Not to mention that especially with using ChatGPT today, you don't have to write a test ever in your life. You can just auto-generate them, right? But let's imagine you want to know, you go here, right? And you say, okay, look, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Why tests are important in so many ways, right? Imagine you install this thing now in your project, and you want to use something, and then you say, okay, what the hell does this do, right? Or any of this, right? Like you want to know is valid URL, whatever, right? Well, the best and most reasonable possible way to do this is to go and read the tests, and you say, okay, save JSON parse. And then you see, okay, so if I pass this to the save JSON parse, I expect this to happen, right? So instead of reading the implementation, you should always be reading the tests first if they exist, right? Because, yeah, so contains Unicode space characters. What the fuck does that even mean? What are the Unicode space characters? What is that crap, right? So you can come here and get a bit familiar with what I should return true for string with combined characters, right? Etc. 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 Right? So that's why tests, beside catching regressions and stuff, are always useful, right? Now we can get into discussions. Well, early stage, late stage, whatever. There are some people who write tests. They're comfortable with that, and they just do it. And then there are people who find reasons not to do it. And that's just the reality. Everything else is just bullshit, right? Maybe the tech nerd, I've seen that. I mean, I've told you already. I've told you, what, 3-4 times already. Arendo, good evening, buddy. I already told you, I've seen that, right? You're jumping way, you're changing context way more, right? So again, look, again, you can be the person who finds excuses, or you can be the person that gets used to some of the patterns and you just acknowledge them and you do them, right? Because you would be surprised that a lot of those assumptions about it's going to take a long time, blah, 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 blah. Everything takes time. When you don't write the tests, bugs take time, regressions take time, regressions take money, credibility of your product. People lose trust, right? So there's so many things, right? It's never one-sided, right? Well, because you know what's the problem with bugs? Most bugs have no impact almost on your product, but some bugs can happen only once and they can have a huge impact on your product. If you're building a data platform that has to, if you're building a platform whose credibility means everything, right? You're looking at some data and that data always has to be accurate. And then bugs occur where that data is no longer accurate. And this can be literally the simplest function, a JavaScript function that normalizes some data. If you get this error, your customer that's paying you $100,000 and maybe a year can just lose trust in your product, right? So everything costs, right? Not writing tests and writing tests both cost some time. It's up to you to evaluate what costs more time and more money, right? I'm using Storybook at work, and actually you can access Dream Data Storybook. So this is the Storybook I built. I think it's, wait a minute, where is it? Oh shit, sorry. It's storybook.dreamdata.io. So this is my company's Storybook. This is my team. This is what I set up at Dream Data. And we also have it for Programmer Network. I'm just not running it now. Storybook is amazing, absolutely. Okay, we had some questions. Can I ask some question? Of course you can ask a question. Everybody can ask a question. That's clear, right? Let me just see what else did we have. Yeah, give me 1 second. Pantera is too much for this stream, I think. All right, so let's continue. Hopefully, I'll do something else today as well. It's quite crazy. Remove members from meetup. Remove members from an event. Let me just do one thing very quickly and we'll also have to do. Unfortunately, I don't know still what to do with navigation bars, so I still don't know where to put all of those new features we're building. So we'll have to see about that. All right, cool. So I think we'll most likely need the rich text editing for this bad boy here. We'll probably need it for this description as well. What would you think the most robust and performant and sound strategy you would use to develop a pretty complex dashboard using Next routine? The dashboard has multiple tabs, and a tab is complex enough. I mean, the things are only complex if you make them complex, right? So you would need to be kind of more specific in a sense of what do you mean complex, right? I mean, those are just components rendering some data, right? So as of Next.js or not, that's also a detail that I don't think it matters, right? I don't think, I guess you're going to be writing React, right? So I mean, look, so when it comes to dashboards, right? You really actually So when it comes to dashboards, right? Let me tell you, and I've built many products. I worked in pharma industry. Yeah, but I wouldn't. Okay, let's just discuss it, right? Very quickly, right? So when it comes to dashboards, right? when it comes to dashboards, you always have to ask few fundamental questions, right? So first thing is most dashboards like Segment, Zapier, actually, so Amplitude, Segment, Cluvio, and bunch of other things. Usually they have, so first challenge when it comes to dashboards. Yeah, my pleasure, man. So biggest challenge when it comes to dashboards is first, where do you keep the menu, right? In most of those dashboards, you have the side menu, right? So you have link 1, link 2, right? In most of those products, I'm talking about the biggest enterprise products on the planet, HubSpot, Salesforce, etc., this thing can also be collapsed into a smaller thing because the real estate when it comes to those dashboards is the most important, right? You have some dashboard here, and you present some plots, scatter plots, box plots, whatever, whatnot, all sorts of plots. And then the most used component in all of them is the table, because in 99.9% of the cases, you end up using tables because the data is tabular, right? Especially in pharmaceutical industry, but in marketing, sales, pretty much anywhere you have a bunch of tables, right? And at this point in time, this almost becomes evident that this sort of stuff doesn't work on mobile, right? It's very hard to make tables responsive on mobile, right? Because you have so many columns and rows and stuff. Now, when it comes to state, right, you have few possibilities, right? And it's always the same. That's why I say it's not really complex, right? So there, and let me tell you, so this comes from many years of experience building those dashboards. So please take this advice and you're gonna make I'm going to save you a lot of time. So number one, when it comes to dashboards, you want to build an API in such a way where you get as perfect data to the UI as possible. So for instance, let me tell you a mistakes that I made in the past that costed me a lot of performance issues. In a lot of dashboards that I saw before, what people are going to do is they're going to do something like this. They're going to give me apples, bananas, whatever. They're going to do 10 different requests to the API. Then they're going to normalize and link the data in the front end. And then they're going to feed that data that's now normalized, whatever, to their components. This is a huge mistake. Number one thing you want to do is, if this here is scatter plot, right? If this is like some sort of a scatter plot or any sort of plot, you want to make sure that the data that you give to this component comes from the API as perfect as possible. So you'll do the linking of the IDs, because if we're talking about big data or whatever, you generally have shit tons of data that you have to prettify, normalize, connect, link, join, whatever, and then, but always, 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 your goal should be that your front end does almost nothing. So your dashboards should get some data and render that data. If a user changes some of the options here, so a user has some sort of a filter or a legend or whatever, and they change some property, you do an HTTP request, you say, hey, user has changed this, because your server is way, way faster at working with data than your browser. Your browser has limitation per request. You have offline support limitations and stuff like that. So number one, when you're building any dashboard, is have an awesome API. So call some endpoint, give me books or give me, apples, and then your API gives you back as perfect data as possible back, right? So that's number one. Number two, when it comes to state, of course, you're going to have some global state, let's say Redux or whatever, some Flux related stuff. You're going to have that on a top level, of course. So you're going to have this, and here you want to keep your global state minimal, right? So be very careful what you store there, right? Of course, when it comes to caching and stuff, I would highly advise not to cache those dashboards. Yeah, perfect. We're using RTK also here at Programmer Network. So here in the Redux, you want to store minimal stuff, logged in user, theme, whatever else. When it comes to caching and the big data, that's incredibly difficult, right? It's incredibly difficult to do right, to not introduce some data regressions or whatever, or data getting out of date. So I would be very reluctant if you don't have to and I would not cache your dashboards. Now, if you're using like Google Cloud Platform, you can use BigQuery. BigQuery has a lot of optimizations there, right? So when it comes to those things, always fetch them local. So each dashboard should be concerned with their own data, right? So this guy here should not be in Redux. This should be local state. So literally, imagine this is called dashboard X. This dashboard should fetch its own data. You set it in the state, set, local data, set state, whatever. But again, it's crucial that you get the data as perfect as it can be from your server, from your API. So this guy here, your API should be like, there you go, frontend, take this perfect data. Let me actually reduce the size of this. So yeah, so imagine this is your API here. This guy would be like, hey, frontend, I give you back exactly what those dashboards need. So you can exactly get what this plot needs, what this table needs and stuff. So you want to work with absolutely minimal data as possible, right? So all of that you should delegate to your servers, multiple servers, whatever you have. And that's really it. I mean, in simple words, there's nothing really here that's complex, right? You want to make sure that those are separate components, that they're very composable, right? So all of these guys should be composable. You should have some sort of a system where you say, you have to build a system also in your API. So in your API, what you could do here, you could build some sort of a class, some sort of a subsystem, right? Where you know always how to generate a scatter plot data. So you should have some utility, that says, I don't know, get scatter plot data or whatever, right? Some function. So you have to build a system in your API that knows how to always, any plot, right? A scatter plot is the most common plot. That's why scatter plot is a plot that has dots and then X and Y, right? So generally, I'm mentioning scatter plot because it's the most common one. So you have X and Y, you have some values, right? And then those dots have X and Y positions on the screen, right? And I'm saying all of this data should be generated in your API, right? So in simple words, this should not be complex. This should be fairly simple. Have your sidebar, you have your global data, which is the minimal amount of reducers. And then each of its dashboards fetches its own data, stores it locally. And again, if you don't have to, don't cache it, right? Don't cache it because caching dashboards is incredibly hard because unless the data doesn't change often, unless the data is not relevant, etc., etc. But if we are talking about banking system, if you're talking about medical system, if you're talking about the system where the data accuracy is of the fundamental importance, then don't cache, right? Well, the backend is the core of this, right? The front end, again, like the dashboards generally, so those dashboards are generally composed literally of maybe 5 to 6 components. So every single dashboard that exists on the planet has those components, like literally. So this is going to be your front end. You're going to have a table component. You're going to have a card component. And this card component, you're gonna do component composition. Then you're gonna create, multiple cards which show some data, like this. Then you're gonna have maybe 4 or 5 different plots. You're gonna have a scatter plot. You're gonna have a box plot of some sort, whatever. You're gonna have what is it called? X plot, right? Maybe 2 more. So you're going to have a table, you're going to have 4 or 5 different plots, you're going to have a card component, and that's mostly what every single dashboard has, right? So clearly, the front end here isn't the complexity. That it's when it comes to data platforms, when it comes to the dashboards, the complexity resides in the data itself. Grabbing a bunch of different things, combining them, normalizing that data, prettifying it, whatever, and then delivering it to the UI, right? So that is the complexity of it, right? So I would focus, if I'm you, I would focus on making sure that those things do well, whatever. I would suggest that you use D3, whatever, right? That's right. 5, 6 complex. But what do you mean if they're rendered using state? Can you elaborate a bit more on that? Uh, what do you mean by that? Yeah, just tell me and then I'll respond. I'm not quite sure what do you mean by that. Thank you guys for your follows and stuff like that. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you for your wise golden nugget. I don't think it matters, right? I mean, again, it's as I always say in this stream, right? For 1 year of streaming, I had a lot of people here talking about performance, but when I then asked them, well, have you ever uh, well, you cannot store the state in the URL because the URL has the limit of how much you can store, right? So, but that's not faster. Why would you? Why do you think that storing strings that you then have to parse back and forth, stringify, serialize, right? Why would that be faster? I mean, that you shouldn't be using. I mean, you should be using the URL parameters and stuff just for the sake of sharing. Let's say you want to share some report and you want to share it through the URL. You can do that, right? But you should not be storing your state in the URL anyway, right? So no, that's not something you should be doing for sure. And and it's not. I don't think that you actually have a problem, right? I think generally, I don't think you're gonna have a problem with this at all. I don't see any performance issues, right? Again, performance when it comes to data platforms comes from data itself. So, for example, if you're using BigQuery, right, or Snowflake, or any of the big data platforms like data warehouses as they're called, when you query BigQuery, that's usually where the bottleneck is, right? So your front end is never going to be a bottleneck of, in rare cases, unless you do stupid things, right? If you don't paginate things, right? So if you try to load 1 million records in your browser, that's obviously going to freeze your browser because you're going to try to load like 100 megabytes of data, render them and stuff. But then of course there's always workarounds there's always ways to do this, right? But anyway, I don't see any problems here, to be very frank with you, right, at all. So I don't think that you're gonna deal with any problems. Actually, I like this. Let's try using this. Where should we put this though? Source. So Rendo, yeah, I mean everything is asynchronous. Keep in mind. I mean you can omit that word asynchronous, right? Nearly everything in life and in programming is asynchronous, right? Very few things are synchronous, right? Especially any operation that happens almost that relates cross-service communication is asynchronous by nature, and even the technologies we're using are ensuring that it's not synchronous. Like I remember back in the day. Even Axios, removed the API to do synchronous stuff, to do the blocking stuff, right? So everything is asynchronous, right? Because nothing is instant, nor we want to wait for something and block everything else, right? So any communication between microservices or whatever is by nature is asynchronous because you say, give me this, and then do something else as well by that is happening, right? So there's no complexity in that sense, right? Everything is like, you just have to make sure that if you're not maintaining that backend, that those who are, you just need to make sure that, that they do their job well, right? If they don't do their job well, then, you will not be able to do it yourself, right? Because, shit, what happened with this? Can I open with Visual Studio or something. Yeah, actually super strange. Ouch. Wow. Fuck. This is a big ass SVG. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's try that. I just want to try this out, and then we'll actually import it, right? I just want to actually give it a shot here. Give me a moment. Shit, that kind of sucks ass, doesn't it? What if I do this? Yeah. I see. Okay. Yeah, we are using SVGR, if you remember, of course, Leo. Yeah. I just want to see if this is actually going to look any good or not, right? Yeah, actually, I mean, yeah. Once I actually find some designer on, once I find a designer on Fiverr or something, then we'll. For now, I mean that this is not completely disgusting, right? So, and it kind of shows a bit of diversity and stuff as well. So it's yeah, exactly, right. And then we'll obviously, yeah. Let's use the robot, right? So this is the title and description for my meetup view in our programmer network platform. Please write. Oh my god, man! Like that. This is the only thing that. Jesus Christ, man! Give me 1 second. Yeah, let's try this. Don't worry, Leo. Like I agree. It's just we're not doing it now to completely nail it, right, or anything like that. It's just to kind of set up some sort of idea. As I say with Steen, my dear product manager in my team, I love him so much. Him and I, we usually say to each other like, Alex, I'm just telling you something to engrave an idea to your head, so you know in 2 days we can discuss the same subject. So I'm now just basically doing it so I can kind of sleep over it a bit and see how it is. It's so much bullshit. Like I hate those buzzwords, man. I get sick in my stomach. Connect, learn, and innovate. Like what the fuck? Like why? Tell us more about product management. I can tell you that it's super hard. It's super hard. That's my general. Yeah, I mean I don't know what exactly you're interested in, but product management is hard, man. Especially cross team. You know, at Dream Data, for example, where I work right now. Well, what's hard? The hardest thing about building products in general is not knowing what to build, but when to build it. So the hardest thing. So the hardest thing about product management is this: every company that is successful or not has all these ideas. So many of them. We all have ideas. I have 500 ideas for Programmer Network. And the hardest thing about it is like, which one do you do now? which one do we do next 3 months of those? Is it this one, or should we do those two, next year, right? Or should we do it now? So the hardest thing is, and really good product managers are going to figure this out somehow, but that's almost like being a psychic, right? So hard things about product management aren't tasks or stories or administrative, like hard skills, like, oh, I'm going to go and use Notion or Linear or Trello or whatever. No, it's like you have all this, like every company has this huge timeline of things, right? You have this huge box of the whole world that you want to do, right? But what do you do next? What do you do now? This is your company, right? Your company has all these ideas, and you have all these requests by users, right? Some of those are your ideas. Some of the others are bugs and technical debt. Some of them are features you want to do, right? But then what do you do? Is it this one, this one, this one? And should you do it now, right? Well, there's no such thing as a critical one, because maybe all of them are critical and maybe none of them are. And then, of course, so that is the hard thing, right? Everybody has ideas, and every product owner, every CEO, every person knows what would be good to have. The question is, what is the right thing to have now and next quarter, right? Yeah, exactly. But it's I think and another very important thing about being product manager is, of course, understanding that you have to be literally like a finger and nail with your developers, right? If you want to be a successful product manager, you need to keep like Steen, the current product manager that works in my team. So let me kind of tell you how my team works. So right now in my team, we have 5 people. We have me. I'm a tech lead. We have PM. We have 2 more developers, and we have a designer. So this is my team right now, right? So me, PM, 2 more developers, designer. What is the job of a PM? Well, the job of the PM is this. I think I said this before. This is the rest of the company of the world. Rest of the world. This is the rest of the world. Well, this is my team. We have 30 different engineers, right? This is just my team, right? This is the PM. So this is the PM, product manager, and this is us, the rest of us. So what is the job of a PM? Well, the job of a PM is that whoever needs something from us, they go through him, right? So this guy is the filter to the rest of the world when it comes to us. So there's 3 of us developers, a designer. His job, amongst many other things, is to ensure that when the rest of the world comes to me, so this thing is me, and then I have to help my team as a tech lead. I know that it didn't get from them, it came actually through him. If it doesn't go through him, it's really bad. Then shit goes wrong, right? The rest of the world is the rest of your company. Clients, CTO, CEO, whoever, right? Random, but your extensions pack has 18 downloads. So yeah, that's how it is. That's how it works. Connect, learn, and innovate. Yes, it's ideal. It's absolutely super useful if your PM has some technical experience, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. Is it mandatory? I wouldn't say so. Is it amazing and super useful. Absolutely, yes. Well, PM's job isn't to write technical requirements, right? At all. That's that technical or not, right? Technical or not, right? It's not relevant, right? That's not his job. That's the job of the team. That's my job and the job of the team, right? PM's job is to take the feature, decide on something, and then create a card describing what we need to do. Like what is the feature, right? And then we use OKRs and we use, right? Tech lead generally doesn't manage anybody in reality. Tech lead is usually the person that's the most experienced or that knows the product best. And then I ensure that the decisions we make and that the way that we approach the features and stuff are. So my job isn't to really be over anybody. My job is to lift the team and with my technical expertise help it more when possible, right? It doesn't mean that everything I do and say is better than what the other developers say. Some of them are better in certain areas than me, right? But there's a right. When I was at the Technical University of Denmark, I was a team lead, so my job was also to manage people and technical stuff, right? The thing is, any look. Let me put it this way: any good manager of any kind, myself included, right? Never decides anything. My job is not to decide. My job, and I believe the job of every manager out there, is never to just decide. Sure, sometimes if there's a conflict between the decision, my job is to uh, provide the platform for all people in the team to be able to say things, and then whatever we agree on, whoever the idea is, we accept that, right? So there's never really, I mean, I don't think that there's ever necessarily a time where I can just say and let's up, right? So it's no matter how good you are, even my job is to make the platforms so we make the best decisions, right? If there's like a three things that we are choosing from, then sure, maybe I can say, well, you have to pick one, right? You cannot do three. So in those circumstances, I can then lean onto something. But the job of every manager on the planet is to make their team be better, right? So your job is to uplift your team and get the best out of people, not to necessarily make um, uh, right. So that's kind of at least how I think about it now, right? Everything's relative, right? That's maybe how I think about it. If you ask another person, right? Uh, Find our host specialist. Actually, that fucking sucks, man. Yeah. That's how it is. I mean, really good discussions. Can't complain, right? I mean, yeah, no, not really. Let's yeah. Oh fuck, some Metallica, sure. But yeah, that's how it is. I mean, what I mean, we discuss so many things, but when it comes to management, right? There's again, that's why I always say it's important to always take. We all have different values, we have different perceptions, right? This is the third time in my career that I'm a lead of some sort, right? And my goal is always the same. So there's several things that I try to do as a lead. Number one, I I want to always build a team that's fully autonomous. That means as a team and as individuals. So for example, in my team, I always try to have every single developer know all the stuff that they need to not depend on anyone inside the team. So that's number one. Why? Because I want to have a good life and I don't want to hold on things so people depend on me. It's just dumb, right? So autonomy for me is number one thing. That's the most important thing. I like the team and all the members of the team to be autonomous and to do things that they feel like and when they feel like, right? And then second thing really is managers are people to not manage people in a literal sense of that word, but to uplift them, to make the experience of work better, right? If you make it worse, then you're not managing anyone or anything, you fucking suck, right? If you're making people in your team miserable, you suck and you should be fired and you should not be doing that job, right? So your job as any sort of manager, just as your job as a parent is to make your kid better, your job as a manager is to make people who work with you better, right? If you're not achieving that, you fucking suck, and I have nothing else to say, right? Of course, it's important to be able to put yourself in a position of people who make decisions, right? So sometimes we forget that. Yeah, exactly. But leading anybody is hard. Leading people is hard, and it's very hard to make everybody happy, right? That's incredibly hard. Because think about it this way. Think about how difficult it is to make 100 people happy, right? Or whatever. It's not clearly easy, right? So sometimes someone is not going to be happy, and that's just how it is. You also have to kind of acknowledge that as well, because you can't make everybody happy, right? That's just how it is. Some people are going to bitch about things, and some people are just by nature like that. They're going to complain about everything all the time, no matter where they are, right? The best advice I can give you at work: mind your own shit. As I said many times, be proactive, don't be reactive. If you complain about things, be actionable and do them instead of just complaining, right? Because nobody likes a person with empty words. Why did we do this like this? Why didn't we do it like this? Well, sit and do it, man. Sit and do it. So be actionable. Don't just talk crap, because everybody can talk, right? That's cheap and easy, and it solves nothing, right? So, and that's really it. That's all you need in your career. Be actionable, be productive, and mind your own stuff. Try to help at places where you can help, and at places where you can't help, at least don't make it worse, right? If you can't help, well, just shut up, right? And that's it. As I wrote, yeah, I think are you referring to my article? Exactly, you remember. I wrote this article 5 years ago. I invented a concept called continuous excusing development. I actually have to patent this, but I invented this term CED, continuous excusing development. This is a 5 years old article, but I think it still applies even more than before. Even more than before, for sure. Exactly. And if you're ever in doubt, just ask yourself, if this was my company, what type of person would I want to hire? This is always an easy one. If you're ever in doubt, just ask that fundamental question. Okay, so this is not completely disgusting, right? This is fine. What is this music, man? I don't listen to this. What is this band, man? What the hell is this crap, man? Give me a second here. Let's play some Metallica. Yes, I do. Yes. Yes. Thank you for the follow, Soldo. Appreciate it, man. I see. I see. Go CBS. Good evening, buddy. How's life? I mean, keep in mind, some of those songs I've been listening for more than 20 years, right? So I had the time to learn the lyrics. If I didn't, I probably wouldn't know, right? Actually, shit, did any of you ever actually buy any Hetzner stuff? I actually never checked that crap. Give me a second. Referrals, did anyone ever? No, motherfuckers, nobody ever did. Because one of you asked me about the referrals. Yeah, one of you asked me about the referrals, but I think that nobody ever did it, assholes. Okay. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. Okay, actually, let me just add that to the list. So here we'll need to. All right. Any more interesting discussions before we start rounding up? Anything else to discuss? Any other questions before we call it a night? And I go enjoy with my wife and my kid a bit. But very interesting discussions, especially the Twitch one. That was quite interesting. There's an AI for that. No, I didn't. There's an AI for that. I haven't checked it. Oh wow, this is super cool. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you very much. Wow, let me instant bookmark. Instant bookmark. Instant bookmark. Man, this is such a golden resource. Jesus Christ, Rebecca. Thank you so much for sharing this. This is super cool. And don't forget, guys, don't forget to follow, don't forget to subscribe if you find the stream useful. And thank you very much. But at the very least, make sure to hit that follow thing. Rebecca, this is amazing. No. I've never. I mean, yeah, I don't use much of the AI stuff. I only use the Chat GPT basically, right? So that's pretty much what I use. Gmail AI, blah blah. Yeah, but this is crazy. I need to actually share this with my colleagues right after this. Actually, I'm gonna do that right away. In fact. All right. Give me 1 second, actually. All right. Someone asked the question. Did they? If 1 year of course at gymnasium teaches typical fun and stuff, and the next year is supposed to be retired, what do you think the student should experience? I mean, I think that's great. I mean, if you can really learn that at high school, whatever, I think that's amazing. I mean, that's super good. In my school, I studied, wrote binary stuff by hand and stuff like that. So if that's what you have, that's great. I mean, you have all the courses on the planet. You have YouTube. You have those streams and stuff, right? So that's great. Just study very hard and listen what teachers say, and that sounds amazing, honestly. Yes. We wrote pretty much, yes. That's what I did in my elementary school, actually. Yeah, we wrote assembly in my elementary school as well, so that was the kind of semi-communist type of stuff. I mean, I wrote Pascal when I was 7th grade elementary school, right? I wrote Pascal, right? So nothing uncommon. So I wrote Pascal, right? Elementary school, 7th grade. It was like, yeah. Yeah, there you go. I actually think I did in my YouTube channel, on my old YouTube channel. Give me a second. I have a very old YouTube channel, like this one. Yeah, this is like, how old is this channel? 2007. So this is my first YouTube channel, you can see. So this is like what, like fucking 16 years ago. So I made this channel 16 years ago, right? I used to have this domain, right? This is me with long hair, right? This is like 10 years ago. Anyway, I wrote some assembly back then. How the fuck do I find that, man? This is legacy, Alex. Yeah, this is legacy, Alex. Yeah, this is me. This is me at work around 10 years ago. This is when I was young. It says 9 years ago, but this video is like way older. This is, when I was working as a Cisco engineer. This was my first office in my career, ever. Yeah, I'm gonna show you. This is me, look at this. I was so young, I had a long hair. I was actually pretty cool, and I was not boring and depressed and stuff like that, right? Wait a minute, shut the fuck up, stop laughing, bitch. I'm just kidding, sorry. Look at this, man. Look at this shit. Look at me, so cute. When you're young, you're so cute. Look at this. Yep. 13 years ago. Look at this, 13 years ago. So this is one of my first programming jobs, right? Look at this now. Beautiful, beautiful. Come on, man. Wait a minute. There we go. Look at that success. Look at this crap, man. Beautiful, beautiful. This was in one huge internet company. This was in one huge internet company. I was programming those MikroTik devices. So this is a router board. This is something called router board MikroTik, right? So one of my first jobs was is programming those devices, right? So I was writing C and stuff like that, right? So I was programming those devices, right? Shit. Yeah, well, fuck it, right? But basically, you can see here you have wireless cards, right? So those devices I would program. I would help my colleague put them in those boxes, and then I would send the technicians to install them on the buildings, on high buildings, tall buildings like solitaries, water towers, and stuff like that. And then they would have Omni antennas and Pacific antennas connected to those little cards here, right? Yes, it is. Yes. And then basically, yeah. So this was during my. It wasn't. This is like a company. My current company back then. This was 2008, I believe. They paid me. They paid a huge internet provider that I spent a whole week with them just so I can learn a bit more, right? So this was like fucking long ago, man. This is me playing guitar 16 years ago. 16 years ago. Jesus Christ, man. Look at me, man. Jesus. 16 years ago, man. Crazy finding this crap. I don't know. We should do. People have been asking for a guitar stream, right? I just never did it yet. Maybe that's gonna give me some viewers. Yeah. So that's anyway. But that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to show how cool I was. That's beside the point. Emphasis on cool. I wanted to show some assembly, but where the fuck is it? Maybe it's not on this channel. Maybe it's on... shit, man. Wait, maybe it's on my other channel. I have so many of those. Yeah, it's this channel. It's this. I have this channel as well, right? I have this channel as well, right? Here it is. This is maybe 10, 11 years ago, yeah. So this is basically MS-DOS emulator, right? So I was programming this Motorola 6800 CPU, Motorola CPU, right? But this is an emulator, right? So you can see basically how emulating that assembly stuff anonymous. Yeah, I was a hacker. I wanted to be a hacker, right? Well, I was never a hacker. It was like a wannabe hacker, right? Wannabe hacker, right? Never really material. Anyway, there's a lot of shit, man. This is some Qt development. I was writing some C++ and Qt, and then this crap basically. I was just kind of recording some YouTube lessons. So yeah, this was like, oh well, I am on YouTube, right? So this is simple direct media layer with Qt. Yeah, that's how it is, man. That's my past. This is when ECMAScript 6 came out. I recorded a course. Well, I realized the power of the browser, right? I changed the pad because the browser is everywhere, man. Like when I build a C++ app or some shit, somebody has to go there and, you know, install that and stuff. And the web stuff is, yeah, this video has 166,000 views. So this is my most watched video, I think. This is the video I'm proud of. 166,000. So proud. And it's super stupid video, basically. I just showed how to block YouTube and Facebook traffic on a layer 7 on a MikroTik board. Anyway, that's how it is, man. That's how it is. That's my past. Thank you very much again for this. Yeah. Yeah, they do. The thing is, right? I mean, whenever you're making decisions in life, right, you have to take two things into account. Number one is your existence and survival, and number two is your passion, right? I went with the web browser stuff because it's super fun and it's the same. And also, again, everybody has the browser on their device. You open up your phone, you open the web page, you open up your laptop, you open up your smartwatch, right? So the reason why I stopped doing low-level stuff is number one, because I moved away from a Cisco engineer, MikroTik engineer career to programming, and then I asked myself, okay, programming wise, what's the biggest runtime out there? Is it Windows? Is it Mac? Is it Linux? Well, none of them. It's actually the browser. There's like 4 billion devices running browser, right? So that's why, right? I was pragmatic. I didn't give a shit about language. I just wanted to be able to build things which have the highest reach, right? And nothing beats the browser in that sense, right? I mean, I don't think that you should be. I mean, server-side rendering is literally what it means. It's a front-end rendered and server-side, which we do for 30 years now. You know, WordPress is doing that for like 25 years and stuff. So it doesn't really matter where you render your front end, in the client or in the back end. It's still the front end, right? You still have to write it somewhere. I mean, I would always probably go for whatever is the most popular, which is React, right? And because, you know, if you want to find a job eventually in it, you then, well, obviously want to aim for something where there's a lot of opportunities, right? But no matter what you pick, it's all the same crap. Svelte, React, Vue, Angular, it's just event listeners and clicks and properties. In Angular, it's event emitter. So it doesn't really matter, right? Once you understand the basic concept, like it's the same with, let's say, building APIs. If you can build an API in Laravel or Java or whatever, you can build it in Go, in any other language, because it's all the same crap. It's some listener, some string. So if you learn any of the technologies in the front end as well, then you can learn any other in like 3 days, right? So it's not rocket science. It's the same thing as it always has been. I have a button. When I click this button, I want to show this, hide that. And that fundamentally is what front ends are. When I click here, hide this, show that. That sums up the whole front end, right? You're gonna have this whole recording on my YouTube, right? All of the recordings are actually stored on my YouTube. So if you want to see my pretty face again when I was young, just go to, you can see I'm uploading this stuff, right? Always. But anyway, pick whatever is closest to your beliefs about software, right? AngularJS, if you're a C# developer, AngularJS is gonna be the easiest for you because you have decorators and you have dependency injection and class. Everything is class based. This keyword is all over the place. You have event emitter. Yeah, the best website to practice HTML and CSS is your text editor and your web browser and you writing code, right? There's no best website. Like Chica said, actually, yeah, I think there's a slight delay, so that's what it is. That's how it is. All right, guys, I need to go put my kid to sleep. I'm gonna wish you all good night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the interesting subjects. I'll see you guys tomorrow 100%, and then I will be away. So keep in mind, I'm going to Google Stockholm conference. So keep in mind, I'm gonna stream tomorrow. And I'm going to be gone other 2 or 3 days. I'll be attending a Google Cloud Summit for the 3 days with my team. We're going after tomorrow. I will try to stream from the conference if internet is good. So we'll see, but more on that tomorrow. So anyway, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you guys. Leo and everybody, thank you for sticking around. Rebecca, super happy to see you. I didn't know that you're still around. Who knows, maybe we can play some New World together again. Love you guys. Thank you very much. Be well, stay well, and I'll catch you up another time, or to say tomorrow. Peace out and have a good night. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.